And did you have a role there in, obviously getting your you know education where it needed to be, but helping other students through kind of those challenges around the imposter syndrome, or just getting a handle on the work in particular classes?
Yeah,
What was your role in vis-a-vis your classmates?
it's funny. In college, students view and judge other students based on GPA and little else. So if you look at my GPA, I'm what you would call a 3.5. You measuring me on the GPA Richter scale. I'm a 3.5 on the Richter scale. I'm not a 4.0. I'm not a 3.0. I'm somewhere in between. Now, if you ask me who I am and what my strengths are, I'm not afraid of what I don't know. And my other strength is I'm able to articulate what I don't know and identify and research the resolution of my ignorance. So that made me an effective tutor to a lot of people, and that became noticed by a lot of people. So I was hired as a tutor we had an engineering enrichment and retention program. It was called PEER, Program for Engineering Enrichment and Retention. It was started my freshman year in 1987, and I became a tutor for the program in 1990. 1990 would have been my third year at Clemson. That's when I'm getting into my major classes, the very difficult classes. So being in the tutor role gave me the chance to help a lot of students, but now I will say in all candor, and I won't stop the tape for this one, it also made me a hindrance to a lot of students. And I don't want to over explain that, but there were a lot of students that I knew kind of depended on me, and depended on me way too much. And you may even remember this story, Charlton. I told you Dr. Snellsire, one of my favorite professors, gave me a key to his office so I could study. And I'm not sure whether I told the story to you this way, but he gave me that key so I could hide. So that when I had to do my work, nobody would be able to find me and ask me to do their work, because a lot of that went on, and it took me some years to kind of open my mouth and talk about it. I certainly wasn't talking about it much in 2015, but you made me think about it a lot, to the point where I said, yeah, somebody might be helped by me saying, yeah, I was in a strange position there, because I helped a lot of people and I think I hindered a lot of people. And I've got to figure out how to not be such a hindrance while appearing to be a help, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds like Dr. Snellsire helped you kind of navigate that difficulty by giving you the key to the office, knowing what it took to get through that and to succeed. And in some ways, look out for everybody else, but make sure you're looking out for yourself first and foremost,
Yeah.
and get on the path to where you needed to be.
Yeah. And the other big thing about being in his office was I had access to his library, and he's an electrical engineering professor. So he's got all the books that I would have to go and dig through our library to find. He's got them all right here on this shelf, alphabetized by disciplines and sub-disciplines, and I've got access to them, and I share that access with my fellow students once I emerge from this cave, and I've come back with the tablets bearing all of the knowledge that we all need. And for those who want to partake of it in the legitimate way, I say, hey man, this is hard to do without appropriate partnerships where you and I are collectively tackling and resolving our ignorance. I don't want to study with folks that are just kind of sitting back and saying, hey, what'd you come up with? Because we had a lot of that.
Mm.